Hello, mi gente linda, mi gente bookish. If this is the first time you're seeing my face, my name is Daikiri and welcome to my reading channel. Today we're going to be discussing all the books that I read in the month of July. Let's go. The first book that I read in the month of July is Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame by Olivia Ford. So I'm looking down here because I have my journal. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. I borrowed it from the library. Love my library. And this book was such a cute little story. It had depth, depth to it. It was a wonderful story of just trusting yourself, gaining self-confidence. I really enjoyed her character. I believe her name was either Jessica or Jennifer. I can't remember. But it was such a nice book to read and to start the month with. The next book that I read in the month of July was Mad Mabel by Sally Hempworth. This book was an audiobook that I rented from Libby. I gave this book a 4.25 stars. I don't know, 4.25 stars, whatever. Um, this book really had me intrigued. I thought for a moment it was gonna be an unhinged, unreliable narrator character. It turned out to be something completely different, and I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Mad Mabel and her story. The audiobook was so good because you had the perspective of young Mabel and then the older Mabel. I love Persephone, and I overall this book was so wholesome and so good. So I was not expecting that. Sorry, I was rudely interrupted by my family. Okay, so the third book that if you hear, just ignore that. The third book that I read for the month of July was For Such a Time by Kate Breslin. I gave this book a 3.5 stars. This was also a library book that I borrowed. Um, it has this sense of being a Esther retelling, which I thought I was gonna like, and I did enjoy the book up until the very end. I don't think it was nothing to do with how the book was written or anything. I just think I don't have that great of an imagination when it comes to like action packed scenes in books. So yeah, I feel like I don't have the imagination to keep up with such an action packed ending, and I literally just lost interest in the last maybe 20 to 15 pages. But that's on me. That's not on the book. I feel like if you would love to read Esther retelling during World War II, you should definitely give it a try. But it was not for me. The fourth book that I read in this month was The Quiet Librarian by Alan Eskins. You'll be I'll be having a picture up here because I don't know if that's how you pronounce that last name. I gave this book a 3 stars and I listened to it on Libby. This book actually was very interesting. It was about a young girl that her parents passed away during the whole civil war in Bosnia, and then how life happens after. I love that I was able to learn about that war. I've had heard um, about it being like a religious war. Um, and but that's it. I didn't really know much about it, and the book gave me a little bit more insight on it and everything that happened. I would love to read more books that are during this point in history in Bosnia to get more perspective on what was happening back then. So if you have any book recommendations for me, please leave them down in the comments. I will truly appreciate that. And let's move on to the next book. Okay, so for the next book that I read in the month of July was the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1. I borrowed this from Libby. I gave it a 4.25 stars. I really thought that I was not going to enjoy this series. I was trying to test it out because I had heard so much of Emma M. Lyon and her journals that I was like, you know what? It's available in Libby. It's, I think, a 3 hour audiobook. So I was like, why not? Let's give it a try. Um, did I say the author's name? Sorry, I did not say. So it's the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower. Beth Brower, you did your thing. I love this book. Emma is such a smart young woman. I don't know, like I don't want to say too much because this is the I've read the first and the second book actually, and I really like her. I really like her personality. I'm not into the 1800s. This is not a Regency. I think this is after the Regency area. I'm not sure if that's the Victorian. I don't know. It's like 1888 or something like that, or the 1890s. I'm not sure. I'll have to. I'll put it up here. What year um Emma is living through? But I'm not really into that era. I'm not. Don't really care for it. So that's why I was a little apprehensive on if I was gonna enjoy it. But I did. I enjoy all the characters, even her crazy cousin. I want to know more, like what is happening, okay? So I truly enjoyed it. The next book that I read in the month was All the Lonely People by Mike Cale. I borrowed this book from the library. I gave it a point five. I gave it a point 5 stars. And this book was so good. It was so sad. This is the third book that I read with an elderly character, and I'm loving the elderly characters, okay? So this is a story of a man who migrated from Jamaica to England in the 1950s, I believe. And he had it rough. He had it rough all throughout his life, a lot of ups and downs. But it is such a fascinating story of how, people can become very lonely for different situations. And then, if you open yourself up, you can find a lot of friends. So I enjoyed this book, and sorry, my whole entire family is here. I can't kick them out today. And I've been meaning, I need to get this video out, okay? So sorry for the distractions. We're only got 2 more books left, so just bear with me. The next book was The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower, Volume 2. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I listened to it on an audiobook on Libby. And yeah, I just love how much Emma is getting her bag and doing what she needs to do to get her house. The tenant, the the interaction with the tenant, with this cousin Jack, and I just love all the characters. I am here for it. I'm loving it. I can't wait for my birds are so loud. I'm sorry. I always say this. My birds are always so loud. Um, I can't wait for the third one. I have it on hold, so Libby is gonna let me know soon when I can read that one. And the last book that I read for the month of July was Twice by Mitch Albom. This is my first Mitch Albom book that I listened to. I listened to on audio. I gave it a 5 stars. This is my first 5 star of the month. Okay, I love this book. It's supposedly a love story, but it's such much. It's so much more than that. I don't really want to like get into it because it's a very short book, and I don't want to say too much, but it has like magical realism, time jumping, time traveling type things. So this guy Alfie basically has the ability to go back and redo things in his life, but he only has one chance, right, to go back. He can't do it more than once, right, to a specific time in his life that he's already changed or whatnot. It was so good. I love the ending. I love the writing style of Mitch Albom, and I'm so excited that I enjoyed it because I actually purchased um Lifeboat with a Stranger, Strangers on a Lifeboat, something like that, and I'm reading that one next. Anyways, I have a little guest over here. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is the end of this video. Hopefully the month of August is gonna be just as good as the month of July. And yeah, have a good one. Blessing. I also wanted to say before ending this video that I have completed the book of Isaiah in the Bible. I completed the book of Isaiah with the daily, with the, no, with the Bible recap. I finished the book of Isaiah and I am so happy. Anyways, bye.